In the history of sport, there are very few players who represent the symbol of a nation. They carry the weight of expectations on their shoulders, but they do it on a consistent basis and they excel in it. This individual here, Luka Modric, is the ultimate symbol of why Croatia, with a population of just under 3.6 million, have managed to outshine so many other nations in football. From very, very difficult beginnings to being one of the best players Croatia has ever produced, it has been a fascinating journey for Luka Modric. Luka Modric, unfortunately, on 17th December 2018 will play his last game because the third place playoff between Croatia and Morocco will be the last time Luka Modric graces the international stage. For such a long period of time, for close to 16 to 20 years of brilliance, we all salute Luka Modric. And especially when you look at the way how he started, it makes you wonder why he is such an inspirational figure in the world of football. Luka Modric grew up in the period of the 80s and in the 90s period because the 90s was a very, very turbulent time in the history of Eastern Europe. The former Yugoslav republics were all breaking away. Croatia was fighting a war of independence, and it was in this period that Luka Modric's childhood was shaped up. He fled during the Croatian War. His grandfather was executed by the special security forces there. He stayed in a hotel for 7 to 8 years, 2 different hotels, because to escape the dogs of war, every day there would be bombs dropped in Croatia. His father also enlisted in the military, in the Air Force. In the shadow of death and under constant tension, Modric's childhood was shaped up. But how did he want to break away from that tension? By playing football. And where did Modric play? The skinny lad from Modricia actually honed his football skills in a parking lot of the hotel. Many people saw him, some football professionals saw him. He was very, very skinny, but he was actually playing football in a way that made him very, very special. So having fled the horrors of war and staying as a refugee for close to 7-8 years, Modric's childhood was indeed very, very traumatic. But at the same time, football proved to be his escape route from all the bigger tensions of life. He mingled with a lot of children and there was no barriers in that. So from that traumatic childhood, Modric became one of the best players to emerge out of that region. And when they say a genius takes time to establish himself, he had a very rough beginning. But when it came to football, he had a rough beginning as well. But then when he established himself, he absolutely dazzled the world with his brilliance. When you look at his Premier League, of course, he had done well in the Central European leagues as well, playing for a lot of countries. But his first major incident that you have to look at it came when he was picked by Tottenham Hotspur in the Premier League. Now, he was actually not having a very, very good time of it. There were accusations that maybe because he is so good, it can also prove to be a curse. So that is why he didn't have a great time in Tottenham Hotspur, and many people had to really, really fight hard to ensure that he stayed there. But there came a point in time, a crossroads, where Luka Modric was offered a big deal by Chelsea. After a lot of consultation, after a lot of thinking, Modric made a big decision, and that he would not get the Chelsea deal. He said he didn't want the Chelsea deal. He struggled in Tottenham Hotspur, and after the Premier League shenanigans, he went to the La Liga. But in the La Liga, in the 2012 season, a newspaper report came and Modric's name was included, but not for the right reasons. Modric was actually voted as the worst signing in the history of the La Liga in 2012. That came as a shock because he had come in with a lot of reputation. Now, after this, would Modric bounce back mentally? The answer would be a spectacular yes. Because if you have to look at it, 2015 to 2017, Modric redefined the way how he would play football, and Real Madrid benefited brilliantly from this. We all thought Cristiano Ronaldo was the A force in Real Madrid, but Luka Modric was always there, giving the assists, scoring the goals, and always putting Real Madrid in there. I mean, look at the period of dominance. Real Madrid had won 3 consecutive Champions Leagues in that period. Who was the key factor behind it? Luka Modric. And not just in Europe, it was all over the world. Madrid dominated the Club World Cup, won in 2016 and in 2017. And because of his special equation that he shared with Zinedine Zidane, who understood what Modric could bring to the table, Modric was named the best player in the world. The rise to superstardom had already begun, but 2015-17 capped off what was a brilliant period. And there would be even more history after that. He guided Croatia to the 2018 World Cup final, and at the same time he was given the Golden Ball and Player of the Year in that same period. Not since the great Ronaldo of Brazil in 1998 did a player achieve that same feat, but in that same 2018 year, something out of the box happened. The Ballon d'Or winner. Consider this, from 2008 till 2017, Lionel Messi and Cristiano Ronaldo had dominated. No other player would even come close. But who was the first player to break that hegemony? It was Luka Modric. Modric's 2018 Ballon d'Or win ensured that Croatia had found a global ambassador for brilliance in football. And Luka Modric, look at the names that he defeated to get the Ballon d'Or. It was Messi and Ronaldo, 2 GOATs who redefined football in the modern era. Modric is right up there because he broke the Messi-Ronaldo hegemony. You thought that as he would grow older, he would slow down? Well, in 2018, if you have to look at it, he had more minutes playing on the field than any other player in that tournament. Remember, Croatia had to really battle hard to make it to the finals. They survived a penalty shootout against Denmark. They survived a penalty shootout against Russia. Took the game against England in the semi-final to extra time, but every single time Luka Modric was there. Modric did not get bogged down when a penalty was saved by Kasper Schmeichel in the game against Denmark. He stepped up to the penalty and slotted it in brilliantly. And oldest and the youngest goal scorer for Croatia. I mean, if you had to look at it, in 2006, he had become the youngest goal scorer. And recently, when he scored in 2022, he was the oldest goal scorer for Croatia. In more ways than one, this cycle from young to old, the cycle of brilliance has ended in a big way for Luka Modric. When he steps out onto the field on 17, there will be a lot of emotions because Croatia have become a force because of this man and the amount of talent that he has inspired in that team. Ivan Perisic, you look at Rakitic, you look at Mario Mandzukic, all the other players who played with him. It has simply been magnificent. Modric's contributions to Croatia and football are simply too gigantic. Imagine having survived the horrors of war, Modric won half the battle there. Towards the end, he also made football his own and he had to work the hard way for it. Not many people speak of Luka Modric because they are bamboozled by the likes of Lionel Messi and Cristiano Ronaldo. But when you talk about Luka Modric, he deserves to be in that GOAT bracket. Thank you so much, Luka Modric, for making football special, and thank you for making Croatia a global phenomenon. And special thanks to Luka Modric from a lot of Madridistas for ensuring that they remain dominant. Thank you so much, people, for watching this special video. We'll be back with more updates on Sports Today. Press the like, comment and share button. We are also there on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram. Thank you.